Hey guys, today in the mail this box arrived and I have a pretty good idea what it is. So I'm just going to take my trusty box cutter here, get that nice and open. Let's see what's inside. Inside the box is a bag. Inside of the bag there we go. It looks like this is a Banana Pro single board computer from LeMaker. Let's have a little look inside here. Alright. First up we've got this very nice instruction booklet detailing everything that's inside. The opening line, I'll just read it to you. Banana Pro is an updated version of the Banana Pi, designed by the LeMaker team. It has more enhanced features. We'll have a look at what those are. It's a nice looking book, guys. You did made that look pretty good. All right, sweet. Next up is this thing. I have no idea what that is. What on earth? So this looks like it's shrink wrapped like that, and this looks like, oh, do you know what that is? That is an antenna for the Wi-Fi module, which the new Banana Pro has. Let's just put that down for a sec. See what else there is in the box. Here it is, the new Banana Pro. All right, that seems like everything inside the box. So what I'll do here, I'll just get this stuff open and I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, so let's just do a quick walk around the board. We'll start here with the power, which isn't on the edge, but it's kind of one in from the edge. So that's the power onto the board. This is your eSATA in, and this is power for your eSATA. Next we have your HDMI, which is now 1.4 compatible. Around here we have a small switch. I'm not sure what that switch is. These are the J tags. This is a gigabit Ethernet port. Next we have two USB 2s and an infrared sensor on that corner. Here we have the AV output. So it's a 3.5mm multi-purpose jack. Next we have the microphone, which is right in there. I'm trying to keep my hand as steady as possible. These are the 40 GPIO pins to bring it up to speed with some of its competitors. Along here we have the power and reset button, and this is the OTG, or debugging port. Just a couple other things of note on the top of this board. We have the camera and the LVDS. LVDS. Yeah, that's the camera, that's your LVDS there. Okay, just gonna flip the board over here, just so we can see the underneath. The underneath, we're dealing with a micro SD card, again, much like its competitors. Talk about that more in a little bit. We have the Allwinner A20 CPU. This is a dual core 1 GHz. And these are the two 512 modules so that you get 1 GB of RAM. This is the PSU, the power unit, which does the power management. And this, of course, is our new Wi-Fi Bluetooth module. And you can see just there, that's the little antenna connector where I'll be connecting up the radio antenna for it. Now, I just want to have a quick look here at the quality of the manufacturing of the board. Sorry, just trying to do it in front of the camera here. Now the soldering on there looks pretty good and of a slightly higher standard possibly than the previous version of the board. Again, I'm so zoomed in it's difficult to get that. There you go. And so just so you can see some of the components here. It looks like it's done to a very high standard. Okay, with the Banana Pro there in the middle, it probably makes sense to talk about it in relation to both its previous incarnation, here the Banana Pi, and on the left, the Raspberry Pi. Now, first thing to say is you can see that the Banana Pi is a much larger board. It's certainly not competing with the Raspberry Pi in terms of size. The Raspberry Pi, I would say, is significantly smaller, and you'll see that the placement of the mounting holes here and here on the Raspberry Pi is different than the slightly inset holes there and the corner holes over there. Although this is much more reminiscent of the previous Banana Pi. In terms of the way things are laid out, on the old Banana Pi you can see that the 3.5mm jack and the old TV output have been replaced by the single jack. Of course, it still has a microphone, as did the previous version, although I'm sure you'll find that no cases leave holes for that. That's a little joke for those of you who haven't watched my case review for the Banana Pi. Looking at the Raspberry, you can see that it's got the 40 GPIO pins, and they, of course, have made the 40 GPIO pins. But the substantial difference between these two boards, not only are there more USBs on the Raspberry Pi, but the chip on the Raspberry Pi is a 700 megahertz chip as opposed to the dual-core 1 gigahertz chip on the Banana Pro, which is the same as it was on the Banana Pi. Now the Banana Pi, if you've seen my review, it actually did pretty well with the Allwinner A20 chip. I was impressed with the speed of it. Things seemed to load pretty quickly. I was even considering using this as a replacement for a desktop. Although now that I've got the Pro, I think I'll probably use that one instead. If you'd like to see some benchmarks for the Banana Pro, you can go over and check out my friend Derek Dickerson's page. He's got a really cool YouTube video which explains in some detail about the performance that you get out of the Banana Pro. Okay, just in terms of price on Amazon.com, the Banana Pro is selling for $80 currently. The Banana Pi is selling for $50 currently. And the Raspberry Pi is selling for $35 currently. So in terms of price, for a little more than double, you could go to the Pro. For about $15 more than the Raspberry Pi, you could go with the Banana Pi. And to be honest, looking at these two, because these already come mounted, these extra pins, you get your 40 pins anyways. It is a bit of a wonder why the Banana Pro went with this. Probably just to, reduce the cost of two components down to one, and switch to the newer micro SIM on the back. Micro SD on the back. There'll be a video coming up shortly where I do a review of the Raspberry Pi Model B+, the Banana Pis, and of course the Hummingbird to discuss the advantages and disadvantages to each of them. But for now, let's stick with the Banana Pro because it is the most advanced, the newest of the different boards that we have here. Okay, so just one more quick look at the Banana Pro board so that you can have a look at anything you want in full HD. Just going to flip it over so you can see the other side. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget you can subscribe, like, and share. I heard recently that some people rejected the Banana Pi in its previous revision because they felt like it was a Raspberry Pi ripoff, and I think that's incorrect. I think that you should view these little boards as beautiful little things as they are. If you want to learn more about Linux development boards, there's a great Facebook page you can go and check out. It's really cool. These boards are great, and if you think about a year ago, we only had one board in the Raspberry Pi Model B, and now we've got the B+. The new A+ is great. The Banana Pi Pro, we've got the Hummingbird. There's so much exciting stuff happening in this area. Really, you shouldn't reject any of these boards because they look familiar or whatever. This has 40 pins like the B+, but it's a very different board and has twice the RAM and a much faster CPU. I'm looking forward to giving it a play, which is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go find a micro SD card, and I will post that video for you soon. Thanks again for watching. If you found this video particularly useful, you can buy me a coffee in the About section below. Don't forget to check out my Banana Pi project, my Banana Pro project, my Linux-based board projects, mostly around the Raspberry Pi because they're cheapest, and I have more of them. But there's lots of cool stuff, and you can use any of those projects across any of these boards with just a little bit of modification. Thanks again for watching. See you guys again soon.